Good afternoon, welcome back to my channel. My name's Gavin Boyter. I'm a writer of short stories, including this collection, Running the Orient. Not Running the Orient, that's my other book. What am I talking about? Running Coyote and Fallen Star. I'll leave that in because it's fun. Anyway, as you may know, I read short stories which often are inspired by 5 random words, and I have one of those today. The random words which have inspired this tale are, and this story is number 114, and it's called Go Seek. By all accounts, I was a strangely intense and competitive child, giving to carrying even the most straightforward childhood games to extremes. Hide and go seek to you Americans, was a case in point. On one occasion, around 1978, when I would have been 6 years old, I concealed myself behind a curtain of red ivy at the Country House Hotel where our family was staying. My father had been tasked with finding me and my 2 sisters, Rosalie, aged 8, and Natalie, aged 11. Natalie's place of concealment, an upside-down wheelbarrow, would have been ideal, except that she had to stick her feet out one side and keep the barrow propped up on a brick in order to breathe. Rosalie, a rank amateur at this game, tried to hide behind a sundial whose base was half as thick as her body. Father found her immediately, but had the good graces to pretend not to until he discovered her big sister. Me, he didn't find. Not for almost an hour, by which time he'd had to enlist both my sisters to assist. I stood motionless behind my tapestry of shiny red leaves, whilst money spiders crawled over my face and my bladder gradually filled, soon becoming uncomfortable. I drank a bottle of limeade from the soda stream in the kitchen just minutes before. "Robin!" Father shouted, an edge of anxiety entering his usually dry intonation. "Why do you have to go and make such a production out of everything?" Suppressing my bladder's insistent urge to release, and my knees' desire to buckle, I stood my ground, watching him pace across the gravel, then vanish into the house and emerge with 2 of the restaurant's waiting staff, plus the hotel concierge. They scoured the scrap of woodland at the far end of the ornamental pond, looked throughout the hotel, I assume, stooped to squint under the parked cars, gazed up into trees. Eventually my sisters began to catch my father's panic-stricken tone. "Robbie!" Natalie screamed. "I'm having your dinner if you don't come out right now!" What did I care of dinner? "You'll never find me," I'd said when Rosalie suggested the game, and I meant it. I was on the verge of peeing my corduroy trousers when I saw my father lean out of the lobby with a telephone receiver pressed to his ear, its cable stretched taut behind him. His eyes bulged, panic-stricken, as he waited for whomever was on the other side of the line to pick up. I knew instinctively who it was, my mother, Commander Jennifer Curran, the police chief. In that moment I knew my situation was deadly serious, and I was in a lot of trouble. I felt my internal valve begin to give way. In that moment, Father locked eyes with me, his glance lazily skimming the brick wall, penetrating my ivy curtain. He slammed the receiver down and screamed my name. I raced as fast as I've ever run, around him, darted into the hotel, blasted through the restaurant, then ducked into the bathroom, where I relieved myself with immense gratitude, which only subsided when I realised that Father would be waiting for me in the lobby. Fast forward 5 years, and I'm playing hide and seek again with my best friends Toby and Adam. Toby is a rotund boy, ruddy of cheek, the only child of the estate's groundskeeper. Adam is the lanky 12-year-old nephew of the lord of the manor, as my father insists on calling his boss, who's really just the custodian of a National Trust property my father manages. Mum at this point is no longer living with us, and my sisters reside with her most of the year, while I flit between 2 households. At that point in my formative years, I feel like I'm always concealing myself somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. My favourite game is no different. Today we're playing amongst the graves and memorials. There's a small family plot on the other side of the stream that winds through the meadow by the car park. This piece of land is only used when the 15th century house is hosted to a large-scale event, such as a music recital, classic car show, or country fair. The memory I'm going to talk about takes place one wintry morning when the house is closed and only my father and the custodian's family are in residence. Adam stands facing a grand oak by a little bridge over the stream. He starts counting, and I watch as Toby, thinking he's being terribly cunning, ducks under the bridge to crouch like a mythical troll. His hunched shadow stretches out into the meadow. He'll be found in minutes, I think, smugly. I run across the bridge, not caring that Adam will hear me. I already have a devious plan. 8, 9, 10. He's counting too fast, I think. I don't have time. I sprint into the little copse where, during the autumn, we foraged under the leaves with a metal detector, looking for treasure and finding only remains of agricultural equipment and a couple of old horseshoes. There's an old wood chipper stationed here, and I briefly consider climbing into its hopper, but even for me that feels unwise. I reach the small collection of family pet graves with moments to spare. There it is, the deep dark oblong, recently cut by the groundskeeper, by Toby's father, to accommodate the beloved deerhound the lord of the manor is endlessly resisting putting down. Despite its late-stage cancer, crippled back legs, and regular moans of pain, 2 days ago Toby's father angrily dug this grave in passive protest. It has already half filled with pale yellow maple leaves, and at a little over 4 foot in length and 18 inches wide, it will be a tight squeeze. Perfect, I think, jumping down, lying on my back and pulling a layer of crisp brown leaves over me. "I can see you from here, you fat blob," Adam shouts triumphantly in the distance. Toby's been caught. I dig my shoulders down into the dirt. I'm wearing old clothes. It doesn't matter how filthy I get. I must not get caught, I think, even though technically I've already won the game. Moments later I hear feet tramping through the woods, twigs breaking, Adam crying out in a sing-song voice, come out, wherever you are." I'll do no such thing, I think. I lie perfectly still, looking up through irregular polygons of amber light. No glimpse of sky can be seen between the leaves I've scattered over myself. It doesn't matter. Surely they'll find me soon. I hear grumbling, Toby protesting most likely. It's lunchtime and there's a carvery lunch planned in the village pub once father finishes the estate accounts. I chance a look at my wristwatch. 1:16 p.m. I've been in hiding for 20 minutes. I should give up now. I'm feeling hungry too. It's been 6 hours since breakfast. Perhaps they'll hear my stomach groaning. "Hey, what about the..." I hear Toby say before he's loudly shushed. "Shh!" Uh-oh, I think. That doesn't bode well. I prepare myself for Adam jumping into the grave to surprise me. I'll grab his ankles and pull him off his feet. It doesn't happen. Instead, there's the pattering of rain. Warm rain. Warm, smelly rain, with a vinegary tang, accompanied by laughter. I squeeze my mouth shut and slowly turn my head as the urine drips down through the leaves onto my face. I know Adam. He's bluffing. The flow subsides. I guess he's not in there. Probably ran away, the little shit. We'll get him at lunch. Throw him in the river. He thinks he's so fucking smart. More laughter, then footsteps receding. I wait 5 more minutes, feeling the urine dry upon my skin. I'll wash my mouth out in the stream. I lie there under the leaves, and a strange chill descends as a breeze swirls in from nowhere, lifting the leaves from my face. A shard of sky appears overhead, blue with scuds of grey-white cloud, fringed by the spidery winter canopy. I wonder, for the first time in my 11 years of life, what death will feel like. Will it feel like this, being left alone by your peers, whose lives continue unabated elsewhere, having unknowable fun in which you cannot participate? A strange salty wetness stings my eyes. Not urine this time, tears. I suddenly feel utterly, unaccountably alone. Just me and the worms, earwigs and woodlice. That last thought shakes me into motion. I can almost feel the imagined insect, perhaps a black multi-legged millipede, segmented like a tiny tube train, burrowing into my ear. I sit up abruptly in the grave. Quack! There before me squats a raven, beady-eyed, hopping like a country parson from twig to branch, cocking its head to one side, looking squarely in my direction, confused. "What on earth are you?" the raven seems to be asking. "I have absolutely no idea," I reply silently. In that moment, ladies and gentlemen, I realised that I was probably an unusual individual and should probably devote myself to unusual pursuits. So thank you for recognising my singularity of purpose and for giving me this remarkable award. It's entirely unexpected, probably undeserved, and I'd like to accept it on behalf of the whole foundation and all its wonderful staff. Thank you all. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Not sure about the framing device of it being a speech at an award ceremony, but thought I'd try something different. So anyway, if you like that, feel free to share it. Hit the like button. Maybe subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.